Hello, hello, hello. Welcome in. It's Birds of a Feather podcast with your boy Q City. So, celebrating a 117 to 112 win against the Brooklyn Nets. Boy, this game got dicey toward the end. It was not the funnest thing in the world, but I really think we were able to get together, pull them together as a team, be able to come out with the win. So, if you're looking at it, game started off on a 12-0 run. That wasn't great, right? Called timeout, went to get it right. End up having a 7 point swing, so like a 19-point swing, really, by the uh by the end of the first. But I think the most important thing in the first quarter, you lost Trae Young. The broadcast spoke to it pretty heavily, but just Trae is a huge engine for this team, right? He's what drives us. What makes everything go. And there's a noticeable decline in the offense when Trae is out. But Trae doesn't miss a whole lot of games. I want to say his lowest game total might be like 57 or 58, a couple like 3 years ago or something like that, or the year coming off the Eastern Conference Finals. I think he missed a good bit of games, but Trae's good for playing 65 plus most seasons, right? Um, he's tough, especially like I say as a little guy. Trae's taller than me, right? So like I'm 5'10". Trae's like 6'1", 6'2". So or 6 foot 6'1". So he's taller than me, but for his profession, for a little guy, he's super tough, right? And definitely able to stay on the court. So for him, like you saw Gay roll over, hit his knee. It looked bad, right? It looked like hyperextension, a tear, million other things when you see that. Um, Trae flexed for a little bit, sat on the floor for a little bit. They called the timeout, got up. He walked all the way toward the end of the floor. They took the ball out. He came down the floor and was just like, no, I couldn't do it. I knew something was wrong because when they inbounded the ball, he waved it off like he didn't even want to bring the ball up. You tell he was in some pain. So immediately went to the locker room. The immediate diagnosis was a knee sprain and have him out for the game. Obviously, they're going to do some tests on it, and hopefully, we have some information by tomorrow, long term on what he looks like. So that's the worst thing coming out of this game. Some other takeaways that I have. So I have a few. Right, first, Brooklyn's terrible. Right, they're 0-5. Brooklyn is a team we should beat, but Brooklyn was very much in this game. Now, granted, we didn't have Trae, but we got up 17, and then they consistently brought it down to 8 with multiple runs. Um, Michael Porter Jr. had a day, but I think that speaks to a point I want to get to a little later. Um, Michael Porter Jr. had a day. Uh, as much as we talk about Cam, I think he's on a mission this year, right? Cam Thomas, I think he's on a mission this year to not seem as selfish, right? Scoring the ball. He had 19. He still has those moments where it's like you could tell, like, hey, boy, that ball is going up. I really think he could have easily scored 26 or 27 tonight. He ended with 19. He only had 3 assists, but it wasn't because he wasn't passing the ball. But it's just watching basketball. When you watch basketball, it looks like he's passing the ball to prove a point, not passing the ball to pass the ball and be an offensive player, if that makes sense. Um, it looks like he's passing the ball because y'all say I never passed the ball, so here you go, right? Instead of so he only had like one more assist than Michael Porter Jr., who notoriously does not pass the ball, right? But Michael Porter Jr., like in his mind and in a lot of spaces when you're watching, he passes the ball within the flow of the offense. Is he gonna take up some bullshit? Absolutely, he's gonna take up a stupid shot. But he'll swing when necessary, when he needs to. But he felt like he was the best offensive option, so he's going to take that shot. Tyrese Martin did a little bit. Day'Ron Sharp, he was on the board. Claxton was on the boards tonight. He had 18 and 12. Pretty much everybody stayed around 30 minutes. The fouls were so inconsistent tonight. Fouling was so inconsistent. It was really frustrating because like we have multiple people get into foul trouble, So when you look at us, Trae, he only played 7 minutes. Um, we have multiple ball handlers. Dyson Daniels, uh, what's it called? Jalen really took over handling the ball. He only had 5 assists, but he really took over handling the ball. We're really gonna have to rely on Keaton Wallace. Kobe Buffkin got waived, right? Kobe Buffkin got traded earlier in the season and then waived from the team we traded him for. He was not the backup option at point guard, right? And I know everybody loves to think hindsight, right? Like, oh, if we had Kobe, if we still had Kobe on the team, we still had, had we gone for Westbrook when the time was available, Ben Simmons is still out there. Look, man, we're gonna speak positivity and speak to the fact that Trae, if it's a knee sprain, hopefully he's only out for like 2 weeks, right? That puts us at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games, 8 games. If he's let's just say he's out for 17 days, 17 days. That puts us at 8 games, right? Him coming back on the 16th of November. You're missing 8 games, right? Hell, you go 500 in those games. You're no better than you are now with 6 and 7. Um, if you lose 6 of them, you know what I'm saying? You're 4-9. That's not a terrible hole to climb out of, right? Down, 5 games away from 500. Just you hope Trae's all right. I don't feel like signing anybody extra to the roster does a great deal. Veet's a sizable option at the backup point. I think that you're going to lean into what you leaned into tonight a lot, which is Jalen holding the ball, Nah being a real offensive creator. And when I say offensive creator, I'm not necessarily meaning like facilitating the offense and passing the ball. I still think Keaton is going to take a big role. I wouldn't be surprised if they started Veet and kept Keaton with the second unit, because with Veet on the floor, you can have Jalen handle the ball, bring the ball up. He's showing amazing ability passing the ball. You see 5 assists. He wasn't necessarily getting sold tonight, but a lot of his passes lead to really good offense. So he's got the size, he's got the frame, he's making some really good passes and offensive reads. So like you feel comfortable with the offense flowing through him if necessary, right? Down in the fourth quarter, I didn't necessarily love it. Right, he had Claxton on him multiple times, and you end up getting into a high pick and roll action with Dyson, and having Dyson takes Claxton to the rim when you could have took him off the dribble at the high key, right? And I think that's at the top of the key. I think that's like just something you kind of got to learn. Be more aggressive offensively. Know when you need to be aggressive and attack the rim. He knocked down 2 big threes to kind of chill them out when they were making runs. Offense went dead late. We didn't score in the last 3.5 minutes. Didn't score a field goal in the last 3.5 minutes. I think we got to the line a couple times, which helped us like build that distance or whatnot. But they locked up and played defense. We allowed 112, which is one of the lower totals that we've allowed this season already. Still scored 117, which is averaging around that 120 range. So like the offense was still there for the most part, sharing the ball. The foul situation. Porzingis ended up fouling out. Jalen had 4 early in the third. Big O had 5 like late in the game. It's like, dang, bro, like and the foul calls were so inconsistent tonight. I think was the part that was frustrating. Jalen, I think, caught his third, like literally didn't even push the guy. It's just touching the body as dudes going down the lane. And I get it, but like letter of the law is impediment of movement. So like, yes, it's a foul. But that's never called. Like spirit of the law is like, bro, I'm just putting my hands on you, right? So like I'm literally passing you off to whoever I'm gonna go through as you're going through the zone. Because they were in the zone, right? They were in the zone, he brought him up to the pick. I'm gonna put my hands on him as he like I'm falling back in the drop as this guy cuts through and putting my hands on him, right? And it's just like that's a very normal basketball play. You see it 100 times, it's not called, but it's called tonight, right? And it was ticky-tack, but I can't say it was one-sided because the Nets got in foul trouble too. That's why you see a lot of people at like between 28 and 32 minutes because like everybody was in foul trouble. Had to reach deep into the bench tonight. Gay is earning minutes. Big O is expensive, but he does a lot, and I love him as a player. So like, obviously, I don't look forward to him leaving anywhere, and I don't think Kristaps is like a long term proposition. But like, you're gonna have to carve out minutes for Gay. Between Jalen, Reesh, Kristaps, Big O down there in the 4 or 5 spot. NAW, Nah, that's what I call him. You know what I'm saying? Nah, when he slides down the small ball moments, like Gay's got to touch the floor. He's at 14 minutes, but like, yeah, that's right around where you want him. 14 to 17 minutes, and they're impactful, right? He's running the floor. He's contesting shots. He get a little too much dip on his chip on the offensive end. I ain't gonna lie about it. Like he does kind of be feeling himself on the offensive end, but for the most part, he is a plus. He's a plus defender and he's a plus lob threat. He works very well with Trae. Obviously, Trae not being there tonight kind of stymie things. All right, let's get to the lion's share of this because I don't like these lives being too long. Because if you've seen, I package them together at the end of the week, so you can get basically all the game recaps for the week. Seem to do pretty well numbers wise. So love that you guys liked it. So I try to keep these around 10 to 15 minutes. What I'm gonna get into, Zachary Richichet. Richichet, 28 points or 28 minutes tonight, 8 points, 0 assists, 3 rebounds. This current iteration of this team. Oh, my bad. Before I get into him, I've been on Luke Kennard's ass. He did good tonight. I got to give him props because I've been on his ass all the last 4 games. He did good tonight. No notes. He was aggressive with his shot. He definitely stepped up once Trae went out. Great game by him. Reesh is struggling. I'm not sure if it's a soft slump, if it's a current iteration of the team and the offense and the role that he's being asked to play, but he is struggling right now. First off, Michael Porter Jr. gave him a serious welcome to the NBA moment, was eating his lunch. Porter scored 32. I want to say like the first 21, 22 was on Reach, bro. And they end up switching off and putting Dyson on him. Dyson got some work too, right? So it's like he was hot. It just is what it is. But you can tell he's struggling, like confidence-wise. His shot isn't there. He's not being aggressive toward the rim at all. His cuts relate. I'm really, really about what he's looking like in this offense. With these added pieces, he doesn't look good right now, and I'm not sure if it's a mental thing. I'm not sure if it's just an offensive thing. From what I saw last year, he gets himself going offensively by honing in on the defensive end, and I feel like tonight he was playing decent defense. Porter was just hot. I think he started off like 6 for 7. He was 7 for 9. At one point he was like 11 for 15. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of these are threes, tough shots, hands in your face. Like he works really hard on the defensive end that leads to like wide open opportunities. He's getting hustle buckets and whatnot because it's not like he's getting a lot of plays called for him. You know what I'm saying? But like he couldn't really hone in on the defensive end tonight, and then your shots also not falling. When I do the Hawks pod tomorrow, I'll deep dive into a lot of these numbers with a lot of people. But like I really think he's struggling right now, and I sad, but like with Trae out, maybe he takes on a bigger role and then he can keep that moving forward. Because I hate to say it, this is what we saw with DeAndre, right? When we started adding a bunch of pieces to really support Trae, which is the main goal, right? Add these pieces to support Trae. Once we started doing that, we kind of saw Dre's moments, like his usage moments go down, and then also injuries started to pile up. Real honed in on the defensive end, eventually relegated to the bench, got moved. I don't want to see that happen to Reach. I think Reach has a ton of talent. So we'll get into that a little bit more. I appreciate you guys. It's been your boy Q City. Follow me at Q City 11, but follow the page at BOAF Media on all social media platforms. Hit that bell so you know when we're going live. I appreciate you. It's been your boy Q City, and I'm out. Peace.
I'm out.